Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl. Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. Tonight. Sometime this evening, our country's greatest athletes will compete for, I assume, a little golden football statue, all while practicing COVID safety techniques like lying together in a pile and passing a pigskin back and forth, all while following the CDC guideline of wearing a plastic helmet. Today we have Madeline, Colette, and myself, the three biggest sports fans in the country, to give you an in-depth Super Bowl analysis. So to start us off, tell us, Madeline, who's playing tonight?
There are some basketball teams.
Oh wait, shit! It's tonight.
Yeah, it's tonight.
It is tonight.
Did you not know it's tonight?
Yes, the Super Bowl is tonight.
That's the point of the bit.
I don't know. I thought we were just doing a Super Bowl. Okay, psych. It's a Colette episode, you guys.
Oh, Colette, so what are we talking about today?
Oh, man. So we all saw it coming from 8 million miles away, mostly because I'm 6'7" and my head is in the clouds. It's a trans episode. We're going to talk about my transition.
Oh, wait, hold on. Does this make it literally a crossover episode?
I'm going to beat you. I'm going to box you outside of your house.
Now this is a story all about how Colette's life got turned upside down.
Oh, I thought you were going to say a story all about how Colette's dick got turned inside out.
I'm not trying to get canceled.
Canceled. So, I just wanted to talk about, like, a few things that nobody really explained to me about transitioning and the exciting shit that goes with that. Starting with, like, how drastically different, like, femininity and, like, womanhood is than being a man. Like, drastically different. For one, everyone in public is so nice to me because I'm pretty and I have tits. When I was a man, I was invisible because I was not only giant, but I'm black and I look like a cunt when I'm not talking to people, so nobody would talk to me. I can look as angry as I want in public as a woman, and some depraved middle-aged white man will absolutely come up to me and be like, "Hey there, beautiful. Why don't you smile?" It drives me crazy. Nobody told me that women had sex. Nobody told me that this was just going to be crappy across the board.
I find what's really fun about being a woman is that people are really surprised if, like, you can keep up with people. Like, if someone says something, you say something like witty or charming back, they're like, ho ho ho, and I'm like, yeah, I thought of that.
Or just, like, any of my hobbies, anything I do is, like, such a spectacle now. I'm like, oh yeah, I like to just kind of play video games and, like, chill with my homies and, like, have some beer and whiskey and shit. And they're just like, what, my-lady? You play the video? And you enjoy brown liquors? And I'm just like, well, fuck guys, yeah, I do.
I just want to say, by the way, I think it's really cool that you guys are doing this podcast. It's really awesome,
It's just, break glass ceilings. Thank you for being here on my podcast.
On my podcast about being trans.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, no, and I've just been treated really, 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 really differently. I mean, like, going into work, for instance, I never used to really, like, think about what I wore. Like, as long as it was, like, somewhere, like, kind of in the dress code, it was fine, right? Like, I could wear a polo shirt, that's fine. I could wear, like, but I work in offices, to all of our listeners out there. I'm an office lady. As a woman, what I realized is a dress code doesn't exist. No. I can go into my office wearing whatever the fuck I want, and as long as you can see my cleavage, no one's gonna say shit. Not a goddamn thing. I wore a tank top and flip-flops last week, and nobody said anything to me.
Oh, that's tight.
That's incredible.
That's tight.
When I worked at GE, I remember I would come in, like, in khakis and a collared shirt, and I wore flip-flops, and my, like, manager told me it was embarrassing.
I didn't realize, like, how intense the male gaze can be, because, like, I signed up for, like, Stitch Fix. Please sponsor us. I'm totally paying out the ass for the designer clothes you just sent me because I forgot to send some of them back.
Yeah, can we get a sponsor up in here? Because, like, I bought a car recently, and, like, I just want a little help. Just a little bit of help.
I was really reckless with credit cards in my early 20s. I would love a little
I'm
help.
reckless with credit cards now. Please help.
Oh, but no, I was wearing this like Calvin Klein blouse, super cute, super like fun, flowy fabric, a little sheer, so I wore 2 camisoles and a bra under it. But what I realized immediately upon stepping foot into my office is that because the fabric was so light and flowy, every time I breathed, laughed, talked, moved, existed in a space with men, they would watch every movement of the fabric over my titties because it would like in like every direction. I looked like I was in a hentai because my boobs didn't understand like how to sit still, and dudes would be talking to me and I would catch them staring like directly into my cleavage, and then I would like turn away and they would look even more directly, and I would turn back to say something to them and they would do that thing where they like look away really fast, like it isn't super obvious what you were doing. Instead of just like manning up and staring at them while I'm looking at them, they would like suddenly be really invested in the ceiling tiles or the flickering fluorescent light bulb down the hallway. And I was like, oh yeah,
Oh, I know that.
that's not obvious at all, man. That's not obvious.
Oh yeah, and nipples are treated differently too.
Oh yeah, no, super different, super different. I had a woman at the airport stop me because I was wearing kind of like a jumpsuit type thing, but it's like cut really low down the
Yes,
side.
you can't wear a bra.
I wore a bra actually, and she stopped me
Oh.
because she could see it.
Oh.
She was like, ma'am, I can see your bra.
Yeah, I know, bitch. It's cut low.
Exactly. I was like,
should've
yeah, I
just
noticed when I put it on this fucking morning, bitch. I'm trying to get on a plane.
You should have just taken your bra off and been like, better.
Do you want it? Do you want it? I only buy discount bras from Victoria's Secret. My titties are fake. I don't need this. This is so people don't see the outline of my nipples.
Well, that's the thing about nipples is that I hate wearing bras. I hate them. I
hate
don't
'em too.
ever want to wear them. And like I know there are people who have to wear bras because they got big titties, and like that's fine. But mine are like just passable enough without a bra. However, if my nipples decide that they want to just hang out all day at peak hardness,
Like
then,
a cold wind comes by.
right? Then like all of a sudden it's like no one ever really. I hang out with a bunch of dudes, so no one really ever talks about my boobs. But if my nipples are hard, all of a sudden everyone's like, "Hey, did you not wear a bra?" And I'm like, "Yes, I'm not wearing a bra. All right, who cares? You also have nipples. Why are your nipples so much less weird than mine? They're both hard. Both of our nipples are hard."
Right now, as we speak, in fact.
Right.
And nobody told me how fucking uncomfortable bras are. That shit hurts. Oh my god, I had like the cutest black lacy number and I bought it. It was one of like the first bras I got after I got a boob job, and I actually had to get like actual bras. Because when I was like an itty bitty B cup, it didn't fucking matter. Nobody could tell I had boobs because I'm giant. And I didn't realize that like it doesn't just have an underwire, it has like that hard metal like cup thing under it. Where it's just like this little crescent moon of cold iron that presses against my goddamn rib cage and shoves my tits into my throat.
And
when
then
I
occasionally your boobie will slip under it a little bit, so then you just gotta hoist them both up.
It hurts. And then the stupid lacy cups, sometimes my boob just falls out of the top of it. And I'm like, what is your purpose? You were $70.
Yeah.
Pink tax is real. I miss like my razors. I still buy men's razors. It's so much
I
cheaper.
go to Dollar Shave Club. Sponsor us, Dollar Shave Club. Because
I also go to Dollar Shave Club. Sponsor us, Dollar Shave Club. Like makeup and pads. Right after I got my vagina surgery, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit, I had to wear a maxi pad like every day. That is so expensive. That is so fucking expensive. That is so expensive. Do you know how many times?
The most expensive diaper you'll ever buy.
The most expensive diaper you'll ever buy. And because, like, I obviously didn't want to wear, like, a night pad where it's, like, taped to my, my underboob and then taped halfway up my back. I decided to get, like, this.
What?
Okay, so there's different types of pads, and there's night ones, and the night ones are, like, a long diaper strip that, like, it literally goes to, like, your navel and then, like, the top of your ass crack. And it is so uncomfortable.
So it's like a thong pad.
No, because it's thick and clunky.
It's
like the thickness
under
of my
part
arm.
of a diaper.
Yeah, it's like the entire under part of a diaper. that you like in the bottom of it's adhesive, so it sticks to the inside of your garments. So it's just like taped to the front of your shirt and also to the back of your shirt, I guess. I don't know. I've never used the night ones. I looked at it and I was like, that's fucking disgusting. So I get the little thin ones that are super like breathable, and they always show the women like playing tennis and no, thicker than a liner, but like thinner than a night pad, but like also thinner than normal daytime pads. And
oh yeah, those are diapers too.
Yeah, those are diapers too. Those are just shorter diapers. So I went with the expensive ass sporty ones because like I had to wear this all day and I'm gonna be like out and doing stuff. I don't want anybody to hear the subtle like when I walk of my diaper being full of shit.
That's a fetish. It's called crinkling.
I hate you for that. And
DeviantArt sponsor.
No, DeviantArt don't. DeviantArt do not. FetLife don't sponsor us either. Not into that.
Sorry, FetLife. You had your chance.
A few episodes when we talked about killing stalking FetLife, that was your opportunity.
You had your opportunity and you squandered it.
Should have jumped on this hype train.
They'll get another chance when we cover Zootopia.
Oh god, fucking shit stick.
Yo, we're gonna talk about Zootopia. We have to talk about Cats Don't Dance because that's better.
We also have to talk about Beastars because if we're talking about gateway furry cartoon / anime, you can't not talk about Beastars.
Yeah, because they fucking it.
Yeah, I know they fucking it.
They actually fuck.
They actually fuck. Kind of hot. No, I mean, it awakened something new in me. I hate this. I hate this so much.
I also want to point out to the listeners that Colette is currently wearing an Agretzko shirt while she's talking about gateway furrydom. So, you're welcome, Sanrio.
Sponsor us, Sanrio. Sponsor us. They wouldn't touch this podcast with a 10-foot pole. But no, like, pads, crazy fucking expensive. I was spending a disproportionate amount of money on them, and I was like, God, you know, like, and it wasn't even, like, super bloody. I just had a lot of discharge, and I was afraid that if I just, like, let discharge go out into my panties, it would ruin them forever. And then one day I was like, fuck it. Just fuck it. There's a lot of fabric on there. It'll probably be fine. I didn't realize that shit just washes out. I thought it was going to stain like blood. Discharge just goes away. Also, nobody talks about discharge. Why don't we talk about discharge? Why my pussy smell like that? Who did this? Drives me crazy.
Janie Danger
oh my God,
has entered
Janie.
and left the chat. We have a surprise guest.
Vaginal discharge is super real, smells weird. Also, like, any male writer or, like, artist or anybody who's like, oh, her vagina tasted sweet as though they were Skittles and it smelled of roses and I don't fucking know. It smells like afterbirth and it tastes earthy. Yes, I tasted it. I wanted to know. I wanted to know what my weird little snail trail tasted like because I was curious. Earthy. Very earthy. Not that bad, honestly.
So for the token male in the audience, what is being discharged? What is the discharge?
Yes. Like mucus, bacteria, weird shit. Vaginas. It's like a black hole in there. For all I know, there might be. This might be like the.
I mean, it's a mix of like fluid and cells. But the thing is, like, the vagina is a self-cleaning organ. So there's gonna be results from it cleaning itself and taking care of itself. That's why you don't put soap in your vagina when you're washing it. And also, Colette, I don't know if anyone told you, you can use a bath bomb maybe like once a month. Because if you do it too much, your shit's gonna be real dry and real uncomfortable.
Oh no! Nobody told me. That explains a lot. I used too much bath salts recently, and I was like, damn, my Gorilla Grip growler kind of hurt.
Well, look, I went through a bath bomb phase like a few months ago, and then I was like, oh yeah, that's a bad idea because I was uncomfortable for like the next month and a half. So don't use too many bath bombs.
It's like rubbing two tortillas together when you walk.
It's 2 bits of sandpaper. Just
quesadilla.
Oh yeah.
So first stupid question of the pod. during transition, does your vagina operate as a cis vagina in the same ways? Are there any like key differences? Or
There's
is it, like,
so
all,
many key
is it-
differences. So many key differences. I don't bleed on a menstrual cycle because there is no uterine lining to be shed because my vagina is essentially like, okay, so let's all picture a vagina for a moment, right? You're thinking of it. It's in your head, a diagram of a vagina. So there.
I'm picturing my dad yelling at
Okay,
me.
don't do that either.
I see a Rorschach test.
I'm gonna start
I
holding
think
up
I see
ink
a
blots.
butterfly.
It's two bears making out.
Okay, my pussy don't look like a butterfly. It's like a slightly overcooked Arby's roast beef sandwich.
It's Ted Cruz being tortured.
Oh God, not Ted Cruz. Actually, maybe Ted Cruz. Wait, no, not Ted Cruz. I work for the government. That is not a call to action. But no. So it's essentially just like my clit, and then there is a hood, and then there's my labia, and then there's my urethra, and then there's just like my hole. And the hole is there strictly for fucking. Like there's nothing else it does. It is essentially like I don't know. Like
It's a fuckhole.
Yeah, it's just a fuckhole. It has no other purpose. It serves no other function for trans women. Like aesthetic value, sure, I could maybe slide a dime bag up there if I'm ever going through customs, but literally, I'm gonna start stashing my cocaine in my pussy. Just kidding. Don't do cocaine.
JK, none of us do drugs.
Ever. I've never seen a drug in. But also,
I've seen my prescribed medication that my doctor
One
gives
time
me.
I took vitamin C and I was scared I was gonna overdose on
I
it. So
literally
stopped.
don't even take. Oh no. Fucking, I don't even take like my prescribed medication, honestly. Also, clits. We couldn't
Clits are
do
great.
an episode on my vagina without talking about clits.
Clits, what are they? Are they real? Where can you find them? How to know if a person next to you is a clit? It could be your neighbor. It could be your dog.
I'm gonna beat you up with my hairbrush. You're getting a spanking, and not the sexy kind. Because the bristle side.
Wait, what was that old commercial? Like, it's 10 p.m. Do you know where your clit is?
I'm getting fucking screamed.
Got clit, and it's a kid with like pussy juice around his mouth instead of the milk mustache.
Not a kid. Not a kid.
I mean an
An
adult.
adult.
It's Dewey from Malcolm in the Middle, but now he's an
I don't
adult.
even know
I'm sure.
what he looks like. What does he look like now?
Oh, what does Dewey look like now? Sorry, this is important. Dewey.
Okay, wait, Dewey now.
Malcolm in
We
the
are going to
Middle.
stop the podcast so we can
Hey,
look up what Eric Per Sullivan
we're
looks
all
like.
we're all looking right now.
Eric Per Sullivan. All right,
Aw,
Eric
he's
Per
kind of a
Sullivan.
little cutie.
What
He
do you
aged
look
nicely.
like? He
Yeah.
looks like he would be in a knockoff We the Kings band.
I hate you.
He looks like an extra on The Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, I could see that. I thought it was Clay Aiken for a second.
He looks like a teacher from Glee.
Fugly.
Ooh. But like not the main teacher, one of like the weird side teachers that gossips the whole episode.
Yeah.
Also, fuck Leah Michelle. Putting that out there right now.
I think we have a vendetta against the entire Glee cast.
I don't know, actually. I
No.
actually didn't watch Glee, even though it was probably right up my alley, because the lead singer of Blur and creator of Gorillaz, Damon Albarn, was like, yeah, the Gorillaz will never be on Glee because it's a shitty show that only covers art and doesn't make any of its own. And I'm like, yeah, also fuck Glee, because
Yeah,
I
also
was a
fuck,
kid.
and fuck Glee. All my homies hate Glee. Valid. But clits.
Yeah,
What?
understandable.
But
Watch Glee.
clits.
Clits.
Dicks.
Does your clit fill you with glee?
It does. It does. It does. It absolutely fills me with glee. Dicks don't have anything on the sensitivity of a clit, okay? Masturbating before took me, like, I don't even know how long. I mean, I think I could, like, hammer one out in 15 minutes if I was in a rush. But now, Hitachi one, it's like, bzz, oh, okay, we're done. Easy. Easy.
Which is
That's so
interesting
new.
because that's such an old boomer joke where it's like they're like, oh, a man just needs his hand, but a woman needs a whole toolkit to come. Like that's like a Tim Allen bit, I think.
Yeah, but Is that his
During
term?
his coke phase.
I don't think so. What were you gonna say, Mads?
It's like, well, the thing is, what I think you're coming into like the new world of having a clit when you've had a clit for a while. When you've had a clit for a long time, let's say 28 years, you like a Hitachi wand is like still great and cool, but it's not nearly like, oh, hey, I'm good. It's like, all right, I'm gonna lay here for 20 minutes and like hopefully find something visually stimulating to look at.
Oh God, I don't even need visual stimulus anymore. I just
Oh man, I remember when I was 10.
Imagination.
I just use my imagination, which is awesome because when I was still a dick haver, you know, we were hitting like the depraved zones of hentai haven towards the end of the life cycle of my peen.
That'll come back. Don't worry. You're excited and new. That'll come back.
I don't want it to come back. I don't want it to come back. Well, actually, no, that's actually something I was going to talk about. I've never been so not horny. Like, I fully became one of those women that just doesn't need sex anymore.
Okay. So, I will say that, like, as a cis woman, around, like, I don't know, 15, 16, when, like, everyone's horny, girls are equally as horny. So, I was just like, I just want to have sex all the time. Especially after I lost my virginity. The poor guy I was dating. I feel so bad for him. He just wanted to hang out. I really just wanted to have sex all the time.
Snoo.
I was just like, hey, you wanna sneak off and have sex? And he's like, I don't know, my parents are home. And I'm like, yeah, but what if we snuck off and had sex? And he's like, I don't really know. And I'm like, okay, that's fine, whatever. And then I was like, because I was a kid, but the older I've got, the older I've gotten, the more it's been like, oh yeah, I can like live without this. Like if I'm kind of in the mood, I can choose like I'll go take care of it or I'll just leave it alone. And it really doesn't matter either way. Which is like, I guess not how it works on the other end of things. Like I really don't know.
It does
I have
not.
no idea.
No, it was not.
I'm like a chimpanzee in any room I get into. I'm like, I need to put my seat on every corner. This room is mine now.
Never having you over again. No, I used to like.
I could override it when I'm at guest house. Hotels though, that's a target.
Okay, we're never sharing a hotel room either. No, when I was still a dick haver, I used to like beat my meat every night before bed. Like I just had to get like the one out. And now I'm just like, I don't think I've masturbated in like 2 months. Like it doesn't happen. I'm just like,
Okay.
like, I'd rather like go make something to eat or like play video games. I don't know.
Well, also like it doesn't. I don't know. If I do it myself, like especially before bed, I find that that'll actually throw off my sleep schedule more than it'll help me relax. So
Really?
Like, yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's just me. I don't know if anyone's had anything similar. Sorry, this is weird, but like. If it's like later and I'm like, should I? And then I look at the clock and it's really late. I'm like, nah, because if I do, I'll be up for like another 3 hours. So I just gotta ride the wave.
Valid. I don't know. I guess I used to just masturbate so furiously that it would just knock me the fuck out. It was like less of a horny thing. It'd just be like me watching like 45 minutes of awful depraved porn and then like beating my meat into submission and then passing out from exhaustion in a puddle of my own filth in my bed. Yeah, it's like sweaty, cum-covered nast.
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
I jerk off too.
Do you really, Mr. Chimpanzee Man? Do you
Mr.
masturbate?
Chimpanzee Man? That's actually what they used to call me in high school. Because
I don't want to know why.
I hit because I'm hairy. I hit puberty at like 14, so I was like
Oh.
very hairy while everyone else was a boy.
Do you want to know what they called me in high school?
What?
Faggot. So anyway.
It's okay. I was the weird whore.
A weird whore?
Oh yeah, I was weird, and then it got around that I gave someone with a blowjob in a bathroom, so then I also got whore. So I was the only nerd girl to also get slut-shamed.
Oh, okay. I can one-up you on this one. I didn't fuck anybody for almost the entire time I was in high school. Literally not until like my senior year, right? Everybody at my school thought I was a slut and would slut shame the shit out of me. They'd be like, oh, she goes off on the weekend, she's fucking all these dudes, blah, blah, blah. I wasn't! Nobody was interested in me. I was in a predominantly rich white area. Nobody even fetishized me because I was ugly.
I went to a Mennonite high school and I got caught smoking weed, and everyone's parent, like the entire surrounding community, only talked about it for the next month. So I was labeled like the biggest pothead. I was like the Seth Rogen of the school, but like not funny. And everyone was just like, yeah, this guy's like a heroin addict. And I like smoked pot blunts at like 13.
I
guess that's true what they say. Trauma does build podcasts.
It does. I brought my Nintendo DS to school so I could play Pokemon while I listened to all the boys say, did you hear about the blowjob she gave in the bathroom? She should kill herself because she's ugly. Like, balance.
Oh god, the amount of times I spent in band rooms playing Mario Kart on a DS is so high.
I miss walking down a hallway and having some random ugly dude spit on my shoes and call me a faggot because, party.
Yeah, but now you have a clit, so who's laughing now?
Okay, no, that was actually going to be my next thing that nobody told me about transitioning. I wasn't expecting all the fuckboys from my past that I, never communicated with and that didn't like me to suddenly come flying out of the woodwork when they're like, you got titties? I kind of like that. And I would just be like, can you not? Can you not? Or, the amount of dudes that after I got a vagina that were all just like, so you trying to send me nudes? I'm really, is it just like a vagina? Could I just fuck you? I just want to know. And I was like, ah!
Well, no, dudes are always really curious about vaginas no matter what stage. I remember in high school, one guy was like, can you send me a pic? Because I told him I was on my period, so I didn't want to send him nudes. And he's like, can you send me a picture of, you with a tampon in? Because I don't know what it looks like. And I'm like, it's just a string hanging out. It's not even that cool. And he's like, no, but, I really want to know. And I'm like, okay, picture a string. There you go.
Does he not have Google Images? You don't need to solicit this from a specific.
The internet is a thing.
You're the only person I know with a vagina.
You're the only vagina haver in the world. I need to know.
I asked my mom and she got very upset with me. Please, you gotta help me.
What a conversation. Mom, I need to see your pussy for science.
I don't know what it looks like with a tampon in it.
Do you want me to get an F in health class, Mom?
Oh my god. Speaking of health class, nobody explained to me how drastically my anatomy was going to change, or the fact that surgery was so goddamn terrifying.
Yeah, I can't imagine having that kind of surgery.
I've had a small battery of surgeries at this point, and I still remember for my very first surgery, I got a breast augmentation. Obviously, these D cups aren't real, as they sit perfectly perky and immaculate without me having a bra on.
Hey, mine do too. You leave me alone, and mine are natural.
Sure, likely story.
No bra. Sorry, I'm showing everybody that my boobs are perky.
All according to Keikaku. I just got to look at your titties. Who really wanted the end? This bitch!
Well, I had a shirt on, by the way, for all our listeners.
Yeah, it was, Mads didn't just flash me, much to my dismay. I still remember, going to the surgical center, and, I had never had, a major surgery that I was, wasn't, an emergency, and I was also, conscious for the entire time. The only other time I'd had, anything
Wait, you were
done...
conscious?
Oh, no, not during the surgery. I mean, going into the facility. Into the facility.
Okay.
Every other time I've had to, go to, a surgical center or a hospital,
I was like, did they make a movie about that called, Awake? That's
no, oh my god, no. I would literally be signing, a book and movie deal right now if that happened to me.
Yeah.
But
so, did you get, what is it, single step, penile inversion?
I did. I'm going to jump back to that one, though, because that one was a little less terrifying. just because of, like, the way they did things. But, like, for my breast augmentation, like, before they started the morphine, they, like, fully brought me into the theater. So, like, I was, like, laying down with all that shit hanging over me and this, like, whole team of doctors and, like, nurses and anesthesiologists around me. And I was still conscious, and I started hyperventilating really bad. And they're like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Oh, God, oh, God, oh, God, this is real. This is happening. This is real. Put me under, put me under, put me under." So they had to, like, rush start the morphine so I didn't have a goddamn panic attack in the middle of the operating room. Because I was
You're
like, "Oh,
like,
shit."
I want the titties. It's just the spectacle that's scary.
Yeah, the spectacle isn't it. It was like my first elective surgery, so I could just choose to not have medication. And as you get, well, I guess as Mads knows, I don't think the rest of you guys know like some of my history. I don't fuck with prescription drugs like at all. Like I won't, like if I get prescribed like oxy or morphine or whatever, it's like very as needed. And if I think I don't need it, I'll just refuse the prescription. So this is one of those times where like everything I'd read on the internet, everybody was like, "Yeah, I went back to work 2 days after my breast augmentation. It's so easy." And I was like, "Okay, yeah, party. I'm gonna do the same thing. Like I'm gonna get this done on a Friday, go back to work on Monday, and I'm not gonna take any pain pills." Um, it was literally exactly 1 hour after leaving the surgical center that the morphine had completely wore off after me like waking up, and I was in such horrible pain. I was like, "Call them back! I need the prescription! Call them now! Mom, you need to call them now!" And they were like, "We can't do that. You already turned it down and left." And I just had to be miserable.
Oh, no.
I was like on the borderline of ODing on fucking Tylenol trying to get this goddamn pain to go away. I went to work that Monday
Christ.
and I could only, I mean, you guys can see, but the pod won't be able to see. I could only walk like this because I was so terrified of anything touching my tits, and it hurt so bad that I was legitimately doubled over the entire time, like hobbling around. My male boss, of course it was a man, was like, "Oh, you're fine. You need to stay seated at your desk, blah, blah, blah." And the two other women I worked with were like, "No, she needs to go the fuck home. Do you not see how much pain she is in?" And I was like, "Yeah, I need to go home." And so everyone was like, "Can you drive?" And I was like, "I drove here, so I'll take my car back." So just imagine me driving home, going like 20 miles per hour down Pulaski Highway. I was one of those people, like puttering along down the 40, just like.
Can I ask? I don't know if this is insensitive, but like,
No, ask away. I encourage questions this pod. Love you, bye.
Bye.
Love you, Janie.
That was Janie who just popped out. Did your like actual boobs hurt, or was it the area around your breasts that hurt, or like?
Dude, so like. Little disappointed, actually. My boobs were so swollen that I was fully a double D. Like, I had, like, huge, like, watermelon tits. It was so great. Like, I know that's, like, not something you're supposed to be, like, super hyped for.
You can get a little hyped.
It was a little hype, but like they were so swollen and full, and I was like, "Oh my god, oh my god!" And then they were like, "No, you're fully gonna go down a cup size once the swelling goes down." And I was like, "Ah, fuck." But it was like it wasn't so much that like my actual like titties hurt, like my nipples kind of really hurt, and like the skin felt like really like kind of tight for a little bit. What hurt so horribly was all of the muscle tissue and the scar tissue in my armpits. Because they went in through my armpits for it. I could not use my arms.
Okay.
I could not use my arms.
Sense.
And because my boobs weren't big enough, I didn't want to do the under boob one because they can go in under your boob or they can go in through your armpit. They don't do through the belly button anymore because that one has a high risk for complications. And
yeah, I mean, it's all the belly button seems pretty far away from the main goal.
Yeah, that's what I said too when they were like, "Which one do you want?" And I was like, "Well, not that one. That's for fucking sure." But I fucked up my recovery because I was living in an apartment that my mom had made out of the basement that she had at her like huge nice house you guys came to, and I was laying in bed and they were supposed to be taking care of me, but they were like, "Oh, just come up to the guest room," and I was like, "The bed in there is really fucking uncomfortable, and 90% of what I'm doing right now is laying down. You guys should come down here." And I was calling for someone to help me because I couldn't get up on my own. And I had to pee so bad, and I really just didn't want to, like, pee my bed. So I, like, waited and waited and waited and waited. Nobody came. So I tried to, like, push myself up, and I ruptured the muscle in my armpit, and there's still, like, a weird fold now. I would have to go get, like, reconstructive surgery to, like, fix that because the muscle in my left armpit bulges now because I literally pushed myself up and I fell like where they had like rejoined the muscle buckle and then like like snap and like bulge out in the wrong direction. It was awful. I like screamed in pain and like fell off of my bed on the floor and I couldn't get up. And then somebody came and found me later and it wasn't. I mean, it was super awful actually. That whole recovery was like the worst thing that's ever happened to me. But we're gonna fast forward to my vagina surgery, which was the worst thing that I've ever experienced in my entire fucking life, and I actually have to go back for another surgery.
What?
Oh no.
I have to get a follow-up procedure. I am a rare case, and my fuck hole decided it wanted to try and close, and dilation and everything just has not been helping. I went from like a lot of I think my fuck hole was like 8 inches deep, and because I had a huge dick, but I'm like down to like less than 2 inches now from like the amount of depth I've lost.
Oh yeah, that's not good. It should be around, because I think like a cis woman's is around like 4 to 5 in terms of deepness, like naturally. So like 8 is deep
like
as shit.
I was like I'm ready to take horse cock, but like the dilation process was super painful for me, and I guess I just wasn't doing it right because I just started losing depth really rapidly, and I kept like telling them, I was like, hey, look, I'm losing depth, blah, 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 and they didn't really do anything about it. And now I'm just at the point where they sent me a prescription for something. We're going to try that, and then we'll see what happens. But enough on that. That's what are you gonna do? Honestly, like we said earlier, sex isn't my main priority. My fiance doesn't really give a shit either. Like, I'll just give him a handy J or suck him off. It's not the end of the world. Also, anal's still an option. Any hole is a goal. In the immortal words of Melania Trump, any hole is a goal.
Is a goal.
Hello.
another cultured RuPaul stan. I mean, Aquaria kind of problematic, but also she was great on that season.
Well, she also did a Shinji cosplay that was really good.
Oh damn! I need her to stop giving me reasons to like her. She wore Nazi attire.
Oh, she did? Fuck. Well,
yeah,
I mean,
that's
I
why
like Miss
everybody
Cracker
canceled her.
anyway.
I like Miss Cracker,
and she's Jewish.
Cracker and Shay was like my dream, like top 3. With Jujubee, and that's exactly what I got out of that season. I was screaming. And we can sidebar about that later. But vagina surgery. Okay, so I was living in California. I had to come out to Maryland, so we all got to see each other, and it was super fun and dandy. The surgical center in my surgeon's office was actually based out of Pennsylvania, because I went to like the best surgeon I could find. She was based out of Pennsylvania. I'm not going to shout her out because her care team sucked, but we drive up there. I'm like nervous. I'm kind of excited. My mom's like, how are you feeling? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, honestly, I'm just so excited. This is going to be a huge turning point in my life. It gave me a lot of confidence. Outside of that, not much else has fucking changed. I was so excited to like wear tighter clothes and be like more comfortable in my skin, but then I got fat because of quarantine. Now I just still don't feel good about myself.
Same.
But yeah, no, what you call it? Fuck. What was it? Oh, so we get in there. I had braids at the time, and immediately they're like, you have to take all of the metal cuffs out of your hair, and you need to take your nose ring and your earrings out. And I was like, but why? And they were like, oh, we use like electrical cauterizing on the wounds. So if you have metal in, it's likely that the metal in your body will like conduct electricity, and it'll catch fire, or you'll get very serious burns. And I was like,
oh my God.
oh, so like in this, like in a hospital gown, IV in my arm, me and my mom were like frantically taking all the metal cuffs out of my braids. And I had a shit ton in there, which we had just put in. A side note, dumbest shit I've ever fucking done. Who goes and gets fucking like 32-inch long box braids right before surgery? My head hurt so fucking bad and I could not lay down because the braids were so heavy and uncomfortable. Dumbest shit I've ever done. Like, we got back from the surgery and I was like, take them out. And my mom was like, those were like $300. I was like, take it out. But we get in there, they were like talking to me, you know, we're following all of these like COVID guidelines, everything's fine. They were like, you need to keep like your whole ass body super fucking clean. They gave me like these special wipes to like wipe down all like my body with, so I was like super clean, even though I like showered and everything, you know, fuck me. I like couldn't go to the bathroom. They were like, okay, like you need to go now, and then after that, like you can't go again until after the surgery's done. And I was like, fuck. So I went and took a monster shit in this really nice toilet. I felt so bad because it had like freshly been cleaned, and they had like this like little thing over it that said it had been cleaned for COVID or whatever. And I like ripped that shit off. And anyway, sorry. We're not gonna talk about my disgusting bowel movements because of all of my food allergies. My food allergies.
Yeah, we have a sister podcast that covers
Oh
that.
shit. I mean, no, literally, oh shit. But no,
That's actually the name of the podcast.
I hate you so much. They put me under, and then I woke up, and they were like, there was a whole bunch of people around me, and they were like, hey, everything went perfect. Your vagina's going to heal wonderfully. We're so excited to see how things turn out. You know, like I said, I had a monster cock, so I had a lot of skin to work with, and they're like, yours is going to turn out great. We had no shortage of material. And I was like, whoa, designer pussy, and I was so excited. But then the pain medication started to wear off, and let me tell you, the next, like, what was that, 2.5, 3 months of my life was like the worst I've ever experienced. It was like the darkest period of my life. It was so awful. Worst recovery period I've ever experienced. So first things first, they had these 2 plastic tubes that had these bulbous pumps on the end of it that were that they made a hole in my skin, like in the top of my vagina, to suck blood out of my vaginal canal. And then I also had a Foley catheter in, which is the kind where they put it all the way into your bladder, and then it balloons. It's filled with liquid, and it balloons so it doesn't come out, with a super long tube that went down to a catheter bag that had to be drained regularly. Because I would just randomly be peeing, and I couldn't tell because I had no control over my pelvic floor because my whole crotch was a mess. My body did not know what the fuck was going on. Like, pregnant women have it easier. I swear to God, I would rather have gone into labor than get my dick mutilated like that.
Yeah, but then you have a baby.
Yeah, I don't want a crotch goblin parasite to be living off of me for at least 18 years.
So, blessings!
Woo!
It was the worst recovery period of my life, but at least you weren't with child.
So, like, being in the hospital, I don't know, I guess nobody really, explained to me just how awful the pain was going to be. Everything hurt. My entire body hurt. My body was so confused. My hormones were so out of whack. I couldn't breathe or cough too hard because when you cough or sneeze or whatever, you kind of tense up your pelvic floor.
Oh,
couldn't do that. I would be writhing in pain if I sneezed, crying in pain because if I sneezed. The hospital staff I had was awful. At one point, the lady on the night duty let my catheter bag get so full that urine was coming back up the tube into my bladder. And I kept buzzing for them to send somebody, and they kept ignoring me. Yeah, it was sucky. But the worst of it all really didn't start until I got home. So I was released from the hospital 3 days later. There was an option to either go back to my surgeon's medical officing, which they renovated this beautiful Victorian home, and the first floor has a few patient rooms for active procedures, and then the upper floors where they'll put recovering patients for up to 3 weeks so that they can closely monitor you and take care of you. And I was like, I want to go home. I want to be with my mommy. So I went home. I went home, and my mom, bless her heart, she really did her absolute best to take care of me. It was a bit lonely just because she'd have to go to work, and if I called her or needed anything, she would immediately rush home and come to take care of me. So bless her for that. But when the serious hospital grade shit I was on was gone, and I no longer had a morphine drip, and I just had to take some oxy and pray to God it was enough to stave off the pain, that's when the real suffering began. I struggled to sleep because I am not a back sleeper. I straight up can't sleep on my back at all. I couldn't sleep on my side. They told me that I could sleep on my side as long as I put 2 thick pillows between my legs so that nothing would get compressed. I wouldn't pull in tubes or anything. That didn't work. Because the pillow would brush against my catheter or one of the JP pumps inside of me, and I would howl in pain, so I couldn't do that. So I would sleep in these little hour to 2 hour bursts where I would be so exhausted that I would just pass out on my back, and I'd wake up later because it was so uncomfortable. Oh, the other fun thing about the little tube dealio things that were coming out of me, we had to routinely open up the little bulb things and squirt all the blood that was collecting in them out, and it was a lot of blood. They would fill with blood, and we have to squirt it out into a little cup thingy because I couldn't stand or walk yet. I had to wear diapers, and my mom had to sponge bathe me. Woo! I'm also super paranoid.
That is glamorous.
Yeah, I'm also super paranoid too. My mom had to change my catheter bag too. She did the most for me. She would have to literally hold me and help me stumble to the bathroom to pour my catheter bag out into the toilet and then help me stumble back into bed. The other thing was I smoked cigarettes for 14 years. I quit. I have not had a cigarette since Maryland, actually, since after my surgery. I completely quit. Um,
Yay, that's
it-
good.
Congrats.
but the downside of that is I have a cough because I smoked for so long. And coughing when your entire pelvic floor looks like Freddy Krueger tried to finger you is awful. Because I would cough and I'd be like, oh God, no. They gave me this like breathing apparatus that I was supposed to use where you suck in air and it's supposed to like hover this little ball between these two lines. And I couldn't do that because breathing in too deeply would make me would make me cough because I fucking smoked for so long. It's like same with going down the stairs. I go down the stairs and I'm like, so like I couldn't do this fucking breathing thing. I didn't know what it was for, so I was like, fuck that. Toss it into a drawer at like the bottom of my nightstand. And I was like, I'm just not gonna worry about that thing, right? Come to find out, when I finally like got everything yoinked out, which we're gonna talk about the process of getting all of that tubing ripped out of my new vagina. When I finally was like not full recovered, but recovered enough, I could like stand and I could start taking showers and I could like cook for myself and whatnot. Because I didn't do the breathing thing, I didn't know that being bedridden would atrophy your lungs and your chest muscles. So I couldn't fucking breathe. And the act of like taking a shower, you know, like the anime scene where like they're like, oh, don't stay in the hot spring too long or the steam's gonna make you woozy. I would like literally black out taking a lukewarm shower because I couldn't fucking breathe. I would be in there like grasping at like the glass doors in my mom's shower, like wheezing for air, and I'd be like, mama, help me, and like full on like psycho scene, like hand on the glass, like sliding down as I slowly collapsed because I couldn't breathe, and she would have to come scoop my naked wet body up and like drag me back to the bed, crying and freaking out. She thought I was dying. I'm just like, I'm sorry, you just can't fucking breathe.
Oh my God.
The process of getting stuff yoinked out of me, I think was, in hindsight, hilarious, but horrific at the time. So she was like, okay, first, we're going to take the pumps out. She was like, you're going to feel like a little tiny sting. That's it. And I was like, oh, okay, so when are we going to yoink? And I was like, and she was like, okay, one more. And she didn't get, and I was like, she's like, are you okay? And I was like, no, but you need to keep going, lady. Also, side note, another thing nobody told me about, stirrups, gynecologist,
Oh, yeah.
uncomfortable. Fuck
Yeah.
stirrups. Fuck
Yeah.
stirrups. I'm approaching 30. My knees don't bend like that any fucking more. Bitch, one of my ankles by my ears. Okay.
Gynecologists are so funny because I feel like they all kind of talk in this voice where they're like they all kind of talk in like the pacer test voice. We're like,
They
okay,
do.
now what we're going to do is, and they always show you the speculum like you've never seen it before. Like, okay, so it's going to be cold, but we're going to put it in and you're going to hear this. And you're like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, whatever. And then the only thing gynecologists really do that pisses me off is they downplay every kind of pain or sensation you're going to feel. Like,
Yep.
they're never like,
Yep.
oh, even dentists are straight up. Dentists are like, look, if you feel me drilling, that means that you're not numb enough and you need to like raise your hand so I can give you another shot. And you're like, okay. Gynecologists are like, okay, so for this, what you're going to feel is a little cold and might be uncomfortable. Next thing you know, you feel like someone fucking took the jaws of life from like an emergency vehicle
And wrenched your pussy open.
that had been sitting at the bottom of the Arctic Ocean. And I'm like, okay,
Right.
cool. Could you have like, no, I had to have a biopsy, like a cervical biopsy. And she's like, okay, you're going to feel a little pinch. And here I am worried that I have cancer. I don't have cancer. But
Party.
they're like, oh yeah, so we just have to take a little tiny bit of your cervix. Little bit of your cervix. And I'm like, okay. And I'm staring at this fucking cherry blossom ceiling. And the gynecologist is like, okay, so you're just gonna feel like a slight pinch, but don't worry. A bitch chops off that tiny itty bitty piece of my cervix, and of course I'm like, and then this bitch has the audacity to be like, do you ever feel pain during sex? Because you're clamping down a lot. And I'm like, yes, because you cut off a part of my cervix, okay? Penises don't do that.
Wait, you haven't been sleeping with guys that have the little incisors on the, or pinchers on
I
the end of
haven't.
their penis?
I haven't been sleeping with a xenomorph, so
God, you're missing out.
So gynecologists will, just for your future, gynecologists will speak like they're administering a pacer test, and they'll downplay everything that you're about to feel.
Oh,
So,
I've already been to one, so
well,
not my favorite experience.
It's all of them.
Another thing, nobody talks about how much gynecologists suck. Why I need to go to a gynecologist for what is essentially just a fuckhole.
The gynecologist section of our listeners.
Huh?
Okay, yeah. I mean, look, they made sure I didn't have cancer, but at the same time, she's like, "Oh, do you ever experience pain during sex?" No, I experience pain when a part of my cervix is removed.
when you take a little tiny knife and you cut off a piece of my pussy walls, it hurt. Yeah, no.
Okay, sorry, it's a little different.
So
Janet. Not your Janet Q.
So
it's the first name I could think of.
Yeah, Janet.
Yeah, fuck
my
you,
fiance.
Janet.
Fuck you.
Janet, who has only been kind and wonderful to us. Fuck you, Janet. But so we move on to taking out the catheter. And she was like, okay, so we're gonna deflate the balloon. We're gonna suck the liquid out of it with this handy dandy little tool. And they go like, shoop. And they're like, okay, just know that by the time you feel the pain, the catheter's already out. And I was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. So she goes, okay, 3, 2, boop. I screamed. I didn't like let out like a little like, oh, or I didn't go like, oh. It was like, imagine you're at like Not Scary Farm in California and like a killer psycho clown jumps out with a chainsaw and scares you so badly that your entire life flashes before your eyes. That is the kind of pain that is having a catheter yoinked out of your bladder is. I screamed like fucking Kathy Bates was chasing me down with a knife. Okay, I screamed like Freddy Krueger was, turning into a deranged giraffe that was trying to eat me after he transformed me into a fleshy eucalyptus tree. It was the worst experience of my life.
Like my new Asian wife cut off my foot with piano wire, Like,
literally. God, it was the worst. And then the cherry on the cake. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. There's 2 more cherries on this cake. Next was the vaginal packing, which was like, I swear to God.
What?
Vaginal packing. I had like 20 yards of gauze in my pussy. And it was literally like the clown handkerchief joke where they keep pulling it out. but with like blood and vaginal fluid. So she was like, okay, just a little bit of discomfort, and they had like a little, like her assistant had like a little baggie to catch all of this, and it was, I swear to God, I could hear like the circus team. She's like, yoinking this shit out of me as fast as she can, and it is the most awful sensation. I was pressing down on the stirrups and white knuckling that awful hard plasticky chair thing as hard as I could. I thought I was gonna snap the fucking stirrups off of it. I was bearing down so hard. I was like, go, 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 go!
And after like the gauze are out, a bunch of little clown cars all start like going out.
They start zooming out at me. They're just like, oh, sorry, must have left those.
There's like a bear on a unicycle that's juggling.
Literally.
I just wish the gauze was like rainbow colored, so it's
I
like,
wish so too.
Look, it's blue. Now it's green.
It's not a child. I was gonna make that like it's a boy joke there. It felt like the last handkerchief was blue, but like that flopped in my head, so I didn't bother.
It's not a boy or a girl.
You don't have a uterus.
We can give you a vagina.
So my next favorite part, the last part about like this horrible trip to my gyno. My surgeon was she went like this. She did like a little circle thing with her hand, and she went, okay, we're just gonna make sure the nerve endings in your clit haven't died. Instead of like rubbing it or just like giving it like a little poke, she flicked it. She flicked my raw bloody clit.
See, that's not even fun if you've like had a clit for a while. Like
she just went. It was like somebody like it was like a child in an aquarium like pinging the glass. She like full force like dong, and I was like, ugh! It hurt so bad I couldn't even make noise. I did like the comical like, and just like froze like a deer in the headlights.
Oh my god.
And then they were like, okay, so we like practiced my dilators. We're like, okay, you can go ahead and get dressed now, blah, 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 blah. I stood up and immediately like blood and vaginal fluid just like spurted out of me onto the floor. And I was just like, oh, well, that's unfortunate. And just got dressed and left because fuck them. And yeah, and then was the rest of my recovery process, which was equally bad. And yeah, that is my journey with my pussy surgery. Any questions, kids?
Sounds like transitioning is kind of a lot like GameStop stocks because there's a lot of pumping and dumping.
Oh my god.
Oh wait, and a lot of what did they? Isn't there like a squeeze thing?
I swear to God.
Short squeeze? Yeah.
And
on the next,
and a lot of Redditors talk about it and don't really know what they're talking about, but talk about it with confidence.
Very true, very true. On our next podcast, I'm just going to show everybody my vagina. We will use it as the graphic, and there'll be little arrows pointing to the different anatomy of it.
We're going Georgia O'Keeffe on this motherfucker. She's all vaginas. All day.
We are actually going to Magic School Bus style shrink down, and I'm just going to put you guys in my pussy so you can explore.
Girl, that's a booty hole.
Girl, that's a booty hole. No, Keisha, a valve.
No, Keisha. Valve.
Oh, man. So yeah, no, those are my wonderful transition stories. If any of our listeners out there have any questions or they want me to like cover something else as part of transitioning, if you're like, damn, what was it like the first time you got your pussy ate? Because we're running out of time. Tweet those at Mads. Follow her on Twitter. Tweet at her and be like,
tweet at
hey,
the cis girl.
Yeah, tweet at the cis girl. No, and we will collect your questions and we can cover them in a future cool episode.
Yeah, if you have any questions about being trans, ask me or Nevin.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ask the two cis
We are the
guys.
two that can answer all your questions.
Yes, yes. No, tweet them because I don't Twitter, and we will totally cover it at a later point. Did either of you?
Nevin doesn't have Twitter either.
We're
Nevin
also
barely
still
has
working
Facebook.
on that new email. newpussysmell@gmail.com.
Oh my god, I still
new
have it. I
pussy smell
forgot
at
about.
Gmail.
I forgot about new pussy smell at Gmail.
We need to open that Gmail up so we can get complaints
And
Oh my God,
questions,
yes.
comments, concerns to
Yes. Oh my god. Wait.
isn't it pussy with two Z's?
Yeah, it's newpussysmell@gmail.com. Yes, that's what we're gonna do. Send all of your questions to newpussy. I threw my fan on my pussy. Send all of your questions to newpussysmell with two Z's. I will be so happy to take them. I love these types of things. No question is too invasive. I am an open book.
Don't do that to your other trans friends, though.
Yeah, don't do that to your other
Yeah.
trans friends. I am just an anomaly in the fact that my skin is made of diamonds.
Diamonds. Diamonds.
Diamonds.
It was very fancy. The
Yeah.
skin.
Alrighty, well, before we head out, does anyone want to promote their stuff?
Yeah, my god. So, like, I'm on Twitter. And
What?
Oh, you are?
I never
I
knew
know.
this.
No idea. I heard you have a new follower, Frankie Muniz.
yeah, I mean, like, honestly, if that ever happened, like, I could die. I could die just fine because Frankie Muniz in Big Fat Liar was probably my awakening to good cinema as a child.
I still haven't had
and
an
Racing
awakening
Stripes,
to
of course.
good
And
cinema.
Racing Stripes. But it's Hypest Princess. Capital HYPEST. Capital PRINCESS. I think I forgot an N. You know how to spell words. Follow me.
Yeah. There are a lot of princesses out there, but none are as hype as Madeline.
Zero R is hype.
Colette, where can people follow you / stalk you / harass you?
Nowhere. I don't exist.
Literally. So I had a few internet stalkers. We should totally do an episode about all of my stalkers. I've had, and I shit you not, listeners, I have had 4 or 5 different stalkers at this point in my life. Just random dudes that are dedicated to either hating me and stalking me or being obsessed with the idea of fucking me and stalking me. So all of my shit is on private.
You can find her at
think-
New Pussy Smell.
You can
at
find me at
gmail.com.
newpussysmell@gmail.com. Actually, you can follow me on Twitch because I am starting to stream Final Fantasy XIV again. I am exactly the
that's
number
awesome.
5 eels. Exactly 5 eels. I love Final Fantasy XIV, and I play other shit sometimes. I'm not good at things. I'm good at Final Fantasy, but I'm not like an orange parse god, or even a golden parse god, or a pink parse god. I'm like a purple.
Well, I mean,
parse
now you're a pink purse
person.
god.
Oh yeah, I do have a pink purse, and I am a god. so-
Bazinga.
Ow!
You can follow Colette at her alt account on Twitter, which is at Ted Cruz Senator.
I swear to God. You guys heard it here
Ted
first.
Cruz is
I'm.
an artistic performance art piece.
Oh no,
by
I'm
Colette.
actually just Ted Cruz. I gotcha.
Oh. No, we thought it was the other way around. Darn it.
Yeah, I'm also
Darn
the
it.
Zodiac killer. Ooh, sorry.
Ooh,
Ooh, oh, shucks, my bad. Oh, I didn't mean to do that one or something. I don't know. Caleb, where can we follow you?
Where am I all
Ooh, you can follow me at the park. I go out 9 a.m. and 8 p.m. to walk my dog Winston. So follow me and throw fruits and vegetables. You can also follow me at Caleb the Hairy. It's Caleb, but he's hairy. It's kind of a new thing I've been working on since I was 12. And thank you guys for doing this. This was a great episode, and I look forward to more episodes in the future.
I
Allow
love
me
these.
to lay you out.
Steve, right?